Did you just open up your Rise of Floodborn booster packs just like me? Well, we can put them all aside now because we're getting ready for the third set with Into the Inklands. Hi everyone, this is D-Sun from Mush Report, and yes, we got information on the next set for Disney Lorcana, which is named Into the Inklands, and it's coming out in 2024. So I've actually have the article up on mushreport.com already, and it gathers the various sources from the different news sites. Somehow they are all posting various snippets that has differences here and there. So I've gathered them all together and compiled them into one article here on Mush Report, and I would like to discuss them with you here today because there's a lot of very exciting stuff. First up, we have the logo for Into the Inklands, which is something that Polygon actually described it as very Indiana Jones-ish, which I really feel that it's very apt simply because this is kind of related to the story where Into the Inklands, they actually mentioned that they are heading out of the Great Illuminary and into the lands of Lorcana. But more on the story later on. What we're going to be seeing here is most importantly the product info, where they are going to be releasing on March 8, 2024 for the big box release. But similar to the previous sets for the first chapter and Rise of Floodborn, Into the Inklands will also be coming out 2 weeks early in hobby stores as well as LGSs. So this is some benefit for them. So take note of that. The products wise is kind of similar to Rise of Floodborn. We're going to have the booster packs, of course. We have 2 starter decks. We're gonna have a gift set and also an Illuminous Trove for the card products. The gift set wise, we actually have the various pricing, and the gift set is $29.99, which makes me think that it's more similar to the gift set from the first chapter, where we have the oversized card for Hades and Mulan. So is this gonna be a similar one? I'm not too sure, but I think that it's at least not the same as the Disney 100 celebration set that we got for Rise of the Floodborn. So that's the product info we have for now. As for the accessories, it's also similar to Rise of Floodborn. There's 2 designs for your sleeves, for your deck boxes, and for your playmats. Though there's also mentioned in an article for portfolios, but well, there's no images being shown yet, and we don't know how many designs there are. That being said, since we got the kind of somewhat full product range here, we can actually take a look at some of the characters that's coming out and what the starter decks will be all about. So for the starter deck, you have 2 types again, with Amber Emerald for the very first one, with Pongo for Amber and Peter Pan for Emerald featured on the cover. As for the other starter deck, it's going to be Ruby Sapphire, where you have Moana featured on the front for Ruby, as well as Scrooge McDuck featured for Sapphire. So that's something really exciting because we have DuckTales confirmed for Into the Inklands. You can see a lot of other characters here, where you can see Jafar, Piglet, Mickey Mouse. They are on the booster packs. Tinkerbell and Pongo are also on the booster boxes as well. Aside from that, we have also info on some of the other cards. You have Kid from Tailspin, Jim Hopkins and his crew from Treasure Island are gonna be inside Disney Lorcana as well finally, and also Pluto and the 101 Dalmatians Perdita. So these are the various characters from the various articles I've gathered that are confirmed for now, it seems, for Into the Inklands. Though, yeah, we haven't seen some of them yet, so that's something to look forward to. Then for the new cards, okay, they confirm is over 200 new cards. I'm guessing basically 204 again, which is something they mentioned very long ago. But we got the very first location card. So the first location card is Forbidden Mountain, Maleficent's Castle. So it looks like the Forbidden Mountain, there's also a version for it. Maybe it's gonna be someone else's castle. I'm not too sure whether that's kind of just a extra tagline description, or is it gonna be like the characters where they have an extra version to it? So that's something interesting to take note of. All right. So for the Forbidden Mountain, it doesn't seem to have any ability, but it's a cost 2 card with Amethyst ink, and also there's a Willpower 6 icon being shown on the right side, though it's not too clear what this is for now. Does the location cards actually have willpower? You can challenge the location to actually banish them when their willpower becomes 0? Or maybe the characters that go into the location get extra willpower. That's something to be thought of. There's also a lore icon that's shown here, which you can see from the character abilities later on, that yeah, the locations actually have lore. That said, this third icon over here is not very clear what it is yet. That's showing a 1. What is it exactly? Is it the cost of 1 ink to actually move your character into the location? Or maybe it's actually a limit of the number of characters that can be in a location at any time. So you have a limit of one character to be inside the Forbidden Mountain at any time. Could that be the case? Not too sure. So we don't really know what else this card does. We need more information on how it's played. But they've actually mentioned that, well, locations will each work differently. Some of them have bonuses for just being in play, while some of them require your characters to move to these locations, which Forbidden Mountain is very obviously a location that needs your characters to be at the location to have the ability. But how to move the characters there would really decide on whether how good location cards are and if they will affect the meta for Disney Lorcana. Well, let's wait and find out. But aside from this Forbidden Mountain, they've also mentioned that there's going to be Motunui from Moana, as well as the Jolly Roger, the ship from Peter Pan. These are a total of 3 locations that's confirmed for now for Into the Inkland. Aside from that, we have another 3 cards that's shown over here. We have Minnie Mouse Funky Spelunker, Piglet Pooh Pirate Captain, and Peter Pan Lost Boy Leader. They are all shown right now. We got the detailed cards from the Disney Lorcana Discord, so let's go through the cards right now. Minnie Mouse Funky Spelunker is a 1-cost steel character with 0-3 stats and with the ability that while she's at a location, she gets +2 strength. Now, this will really decide how good the card is by how the abilities are used for the locations, how do you move to the location. So if we actually say, example, cost 1 ink, like in that one icon from Forbidden Mountain, to move the character to Forbidden Mountain, then yeah, that means that to get the ability for Minnie Mouse, it'll cost you 1 extra ink to give her 2 strength. But if that really happens, is this really such a great card? Because it means it'll cost you 2 ink to give her 2-3 stats, and that's kind of the basic vanilla stats for a 2-cost character, and yeah, that's not so great. But if you can move the characters for free, just that there's a limit of the characters to be in that location, then yeah, this is great because you can just move her for free as long as you have a location card, and then straight away she'll get 2 strength. So just think about it. Turn 1, play Minnie Mouse. Turn 2, go and play your Forbidden Mountain or something similar. Straight away move your Minnie Mouse, as maybe it's a once per turn ability to move the character there. And yeah, once you move her there, you have your turn 1, 2, 3 character ready to take down some opponent's characters. So yeah, that's something very nice. So that's the Minnie Mouse with her location-wise ability. Second one is Piglet. Ability is not really related to locations, but let's look at this card still. This is a 2-cost Amber card with 2-2 stats, and the ability, while you have 2 or more other characters in play, this character gets +2 lore. So this is kind of similar to Christopher Robin in Rise of the Floodborn, where his ability was you have 2 or more other characters, and when he gets ready, then you get +2 lore. But the idea over here is that Piglet being a 2-cost character is really nice because of course, this is for Amber Ink. You have Stitch Rockstar and his Adoring Fans ability, where all your 2-cost characters will let you get a card draw if you exert them, which means that you can keep drawing your cards and spamming your board with hopefully many piglets. And yeah, if you have a whole few of them and all of them have many other characters in play, all of them will actually have 3 lore, which on the following turn, you can just quest each of them for 3 lore, and that's actually a lot of lore that you can gain off a 2-cost character. So yeah, that's something to consider for Piglet. And I have to add on that I really like the artwork. This really reminds me of me watching the cartoons from Winnie the Pooh, and this is a very cute artwork. I like the amount of classification Piglet has, and yeah, I think this is a really nice card artwork wise. Then last card we got for the day is Peter Pan Lost Boy Leader. So this is a 4-cost Emerald 3/3 card, and the ability that once per turn when this character moves to a location, gain lore equal to that location. So yeah, so just by moving over there, you gain a lore. So Forbidden Mountain had 1 lore icon shown over there, so most probably you can gain a lore via the Forbidden Mountain just by moving Peter Pan over there. But that's all the more reason why to consider whether there is actually any cost for moving a character to a location, which would really decide how good these cards are. If there's an ink cost involved, then yeah, maybe they're not as great. But if it's, say, for example, once per turn, you can move 1 character somewhere, then it's really easy to just gain lore really quickly via Peter Pan. Just imagine that if they could move on the, say, following turn, maybe they can move while they are still wet ink. When they dry on the following turn, they can get the move right away, and then Peter Pan is essentially a 4-cost character that can gain you 2 lore. Is that great? I'm not so sure. I think that you'll need multiple locations to make Peter Pan really good, but yeah, we'll really need to get more details on how location cards work and how characters can move there before we can really decide how great these cards are. That said, I enjoy the flavor text for this one, where it states that the Illuminators needed someone to find a missing spellbook and Peter was the first to volunteer. So first thing, what is this spellbook? Everybody's looking for a spellbook. Is it the same spellbook or is it a different one? In the latest lore teaser video for the Inklands Unleashed, then well, they actually showed multiple books that were actually passing by in the flood. And yeah, is there really just one spellbook or is there multiple to be considered, and like, are they looking for these? And then of course with various cards, like for example the Queen of Hearts, she's also commanding her card soldiers to go and hunt down the spellbook that she saw in the Inkflood. So I'm not too sure how important these spellbooks are. Another thing is also this Peter Pan having this flavor text really reminds me of that new Disney 100 shot that we got recently, where actually Minnie and Mickey wanted to gather everyone to take the photo, and Peter Pan was also the very first one to volunteer for Minnie Mouse to actually just get everybody in the HQ together in the front for the photo. And yeah, this really calls back to it. So I'm not too sure if this was planned together with the Disney 100 shot in mind, but this really reminds me of it. So yeah, this is a really nice touch in my opinion. So these are the cards, and last but not least, we got a small snippet of what the story for Into the Inklands will be all about. It actually states that they would dive deeper into the story of Disney Lorcana with in-game mini stories. My thoughts on this is actually just kind of an extension of what we've seen in Rise of Bloodborne, where different characters have different stuff going on. Like Pinocchio is rushing to Inklands without a further thought, but why is he rushing in there for? Nobody really knows. Or Queen of Hearts, like I mentioned earlier on, they're hunting for the spellbook. Is she gonna finally get the spellbook, and what happens when they do? So yeah, I think that these are what all the mini stories are all about. The press release for Into the Inklands actually mentioned that the Illuminators who unleashed the Inkflood must now head into the Inklands to gather the scattered treasure lore. So if you saw the video for the Inklands Unleashed, the latest lore video, then you will see that at the very end of the scene, you have your 3 Illuminators as well as the 3 glimmers that are behind them, and they are all looking off the balcony of the Great Illuminary, looking at the Inkflood that's all flooding out in the lands of Lorcana. So apparently they're gonna be exiting the Great Illuminary, and the Illuminators are going to be discovering an ominous shadow storm that has been spotted gathering at the edges of Lorcana, adding urgency and mystery to the path ahead. So this is something really to be considered, and I really need the next lore teaser video for Into the Inkfloods, Into the Inklands. And yeah, I keep thinking of floods. I'm not too sure why, but that's pretty much all about everything that we know currently for Into the Inklands. And we have various information with some cards. We know some of the story now, but there's still so much to know. But hey, at the very least, we know what we're going to be spending money on in a couple months' time. And that's about it for the Into the Inklands summary. I hope you all enjoyed it. You can pour through it all on the Mushu Report website, slowly go through them, and of course, the cards are being updated in the wiki. I'm getting the product information all up there as well. And yeah, I hope you all enjoy it. So this is my summary for Into the Inklands. Thank you everyone for watching. This is D Summon from Mushu Report, signing out. Bye guys.